Hi Jakob, this is your feedback video for Writix 1. As you're probably already aware of, I have uploaded a revised version of the text to IceCore, and you can see in that my corrections and additions to the text. I might even have some commentary there for you every now and again. What I'm doing for this feedback video is to give you my general impression of the text. Also a little bit about what you might be doing, what you could be doing in the future to improve your writing. And I begin on the global level, excuse me, and that is to say I begin with the structure and the organization of the text, and then I move on to the local level, and that's to do with the individual sentence level, the words that you've chosen, the grammatical structures, things like that. And I will just sum up my general impression of that, because those are the things I've already corrected in your text. So first things first, it's a good text. I think it's got a lot of good elements to it. There's a very good introduction. I think you really frame both Ludwig and his thesis very well. And you're also very clear on what it is that you want to do. So there's quite a substantial introduction, which I really appreciate. The one thing I'm wondering is that, what are you thinking about the genre that I asked you to write in? I asked you to do an article for British Army Review. So the readership here is more diverse than the readership for an academic essay. And it's one of those things where the reader can either take it or leave it, whereas an academic essay, the reading of that is a much more deliberate thing. You read this because you're interested in the topic. And it's of perhaps professional interest, whereas British Army Review offers a lot of different articles, and you might never read that, all of them. So you need to hook your reader, and you need to kind of open it up and consider how can I get the reader to both stick with me, but also understand this is actually relevant for you to know about. This is an interesting perspective. So that you might think about that. Go back and read through your introduction. Think about, are you inviting in your reader? Outside of that, I think that you consider the reader very well, because you have a lot of meta text. A lot of text that guide the reader through. Not a lot. You have sufficient amount of meta text, and you also are able to communicate very clearly, and you organize and you progress in a very logical way. So so the overall impression is one that of a text that is considerate of its reader. So, but just go back and look at the introduction and see and consider whether you were aware of the genre when you wrote this. There's only one thing that I think is lacking, which is your conclusion. I'm not sure that I feel that you round this text off in a satisfactory way. Given that it's an article, I sort of want to know where to stand on this. You're trying to show me a different perspective. You're trying to apply Ludwig to modern warfare, or contemporary warfare at least. So what should I think towards the end of this text? As a reader of an article, what do you want me to think? So go back and look at that and see if you can. Maybe it's a question of tweaking the text a little bit, but go back and look at it and see if you adopt a reader perspective. Do you feel this has been rounded off sufficiently? It's not necessarily that we can always that you need a conclusion. Sometimes there's nothing to conclude. But you can round off a text, you can wrap it up in a way where the reader is satisfied that you have said everything that's relevant to say, even though you can't conclude anything. yeah, that's. I think that's all I have to say. And the main takeaway is here that a lot of this is working for you. So there's a really good basis here for this to be even better next time. If you would like a grade, come and see me in class or find me at the office. If you're someone who doesn't prefer grades, that's fine with me. It's completely up to you. Either way, I will see you at the end of September, I think, in class. Bye.